One of the smartest, most technologically advanced television series ever produced. On the surface, it's a puppet show about dinosaurs. At its core, a one-of-a-kind primetime sitcom that delivered scathing social commentary from the moment it began until its heartbreaking series finale. Hi, I'm Dan Larson, and this is the history of dinosaurs. Thank you to Emmy for sponsoring this video. Click the link in the description below and use code TOYGALAXY to get 15% off your order today. Do you hate having to resort to junk food or snacking when you're in a rush? Why do we do it? Because it's easy, because it's fast, and because we don't have to think about it. If only it was in line with our actual eating plans, because it's not. Well, today's sponsor, Emmy, is here to help. Emmy is the tastiest way to cut carbs from your diet so you can feel better every day. This high-protein, low-carb, and vegan ramen allows you to stay full longer, keeps you energized, and keeps you on track for your health goals. Emmy is easy to prepare in the microwave or stovetop. You can have a bowl ready in just 7 minutes. Get flavors like roasted pork tonkatsu, spicy red miso, or creamy chicken. Finish it off with a personal touch, or go boring like me and just eat it straight. For me, it's all about that time savings. I've got important things to get back to, like writing jokes about robots or making a costume out of cardboard. Emmy lets me focus on that stuff while making sure that I eat lunch and take in less sugary snacks. So click the link below and use code TOYGALAXY at checkout, or go to emmyeats.com/TOYGALAXY for 15% off your order. That's emmyeats.com/TOYGALAXY, or just click the link below and use code TOYGALAXY for 15% off your order today. And thanks again to Emmy. Dinosaurs is a live-action television series that originally aired 65 episodes over 4 seasons from April of 1991 through July of 1994, a joint effort between Jim Henson Productions and Walt Disney Studios. Its visionary artistry and technical sophistication were consistently undermined by reckless scientific inaccuracies. The year is 60,000,003 BC, and the Sinclair family is the same as a lot of other dinosaur families out there, making the best of a new modern lifestyle with all the comforts the prehistoric world can provide: food, shelter, and 9-to-5 jobs. It's been 1,000,000 years since dinosaurs took a huge evolutionary step. Well, forward or backward is up for debate. The point is, they left behind the wildlife, living as animals, and started to build a society complete with television, taxes, and 2.5 children per household. Earl's job as a tree pusher at the We Say So Development Corporation helps keep food on the table for his wife Fran and their children, Robbie, Charlene, and new arrival baby Sinclair. It's a daily grind as these dinosaurs struggle with the decisions made by their ancestors. Is living paycheck to paycheck, making your boss rich while you miss out on the most important parts of your children's lives, really better than trying not to get eaten by a Tyrannosaurus Rex on a daily basis? If this is really the best life has to offer, then what does the future hold for dinosaurs? Fossils date the first dinosaurs back to roughly 245 million years ago, and while that's relevant, we're going to skip ahead to the year 1955 AD. That's the year that both the Muppets and the Honeymooners became household names. The Muppets, an ensemble of puppets with an edgy sense of humor rooted in social consciousness, starred in their first television series called Sam and Friends, created by Jim Henson. The Honeymooners, one of the first television shows to present a portrait of working-class life that didn't shy away from commentary about jobs, housing, gender roles, and consumerism in post-war America. Fast forward again to 1986, Jim Henson Productions was a leader in practical visual effects on television, in feature films, with the Muppets and without. After finishing production on Labyrinth, Henson moved on to his next project, a movie about dinosaurs. The Natural History Project was Henson's idea for a film about the lives of dinosaurs. He brought in William Stout to not only be the production designer, but also to develop the story and write the screenplay. In the 1980s, Stout's illustrations helped expose mainstream audiences to emerging scientific ideas related to the reconceptualization of dinosaur physiology, social behavior, and habits. His 1981 book, The Dinosaurs, helped change the perception of dinosaurs in pop culture as slow, dumb, tail-dragging monsters that all lived in swamps dodging lava-spewing volcanoes. Warner Brothers was on board with the Natural History Project and gave Henson a $25 million budget plus another $5 million on top of that specifically for character development. A Jim Henson dinosaur project looked like a solid bet. Until 1988, when Henson and Warner Brothers found out George Lucas and Steven Spielberg were executive producers on a film called The Land Before Time, an animated feature about the lives of dinosaurs, directed by Don Bluth and written by Judy Freudberg and Tony Geiss, who previously wrote An American Tail and a slew of Sesame Street work for Henson, including the 1985 feature Follow That Bird. The Land Before Time killed the Natural History Project. Stout took it particularly hard, saying, quote, It was very frustrating, depressing. I considered my Henson script as my best screenplay ever. It was a highly personal project for me. I was really excited about seeing it on the screen." End quote. Irony is when your dream project is killed by a competing project that was inspired by a book released 4 years earlier that you co-illustrated, as Stout had done with The Little Blue Brontosaurus. Pretty sure that's irony. It's like rain. The following year in 1989, Jim Henson's Creature Shop, led by his son Brian, made the suits for the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, featuring revolutionary animatronic remote-operated puppet heads. The results convinced both Jim and Brian that this technology could be used to make a television series about the lives of dinosaurs. According to Brian, his dad Jim had shifted from a feature film about dinosaurs to a sitcom, saying, quote, "He wanted it to be a sitcom with a pretty standard structure, with the biggest differences being that it's a family of dinosaurs and their society has this strange, toxic lifestyle." End quote. A sitcom about dinosaurs with actors using full-body animatronic costumes might have been difficult to sell if not for Henson's reputation, the success of the Ninja Turtles at the box office in 1990, and another non-traditional primetime sitcom that had already turned television programming on its head. In December of 1989, The Simpsons debuted on Fox and had every other network looking for something that could draft on that same audience. Heading into 1990, Jim Henson was deep in negotiations to sell the Muppets to Walt Disney. Jim wanted to focus on increasingly ambitious creative endeavors and let someone else worry about the details of running a growing international corporation. Jim was a fan of Disney, the theme parks, the catalog of characters, and the way that they not only sustained but grew the business after Walt's death. A full slate of projects was being developed, including theme park attractions, licensed merchandise, and the fast-tracking of Henson's Dinosaurs sitcom. Disney was already using the Muppets in their promotions despite the deal not being finalized because it seemed like a foregone conclusion. However, those that were closest to Henson knew the decision to sell to Disney or not weighed heavily on his mind, even though he was the one who initiated the talks. Henson died in May of 1990, leaving the Disney Muppets deal and everything related to Jim Henson Productions unresolved. Brian Henson became the new president, chairman, and CEO, tasked with guiding the company into the future. The merger ultimately collapsed, and nearly all of the projects that were in development were shelved. That said, Brian Henson and Disney were able to agree on Disney acting as producers on a few key projects once they realized it was still highly beneficial to both parties. That included the television series Dinosaurs.
Nightmare!
Somebody call me?
We were all tiny and the cave kids were giant. They could make us move. And then a strange voice said,
"Now every McDonald's $1.99 hamburger Happy Meal comes with one of 6 Dynamotion-powered dinosaur toys like Earl and everybody's favorite,
Let me guess.
Baby. One with each $1.99 McDonald's Happy Meal you buy your kids."
What you want is what you get
then I heard music.
at McDonald's today.
The main characters for Dinosaurs were designed by Kirk Thatcher, who'd been working with Jim Henson before his death. Thatcher previously worked at Industrial Light and Magic, building creatures for 1983's Return of the Jedi, and was an associate producer on 1986's Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home. You may recognize him from that film as the punk on the bus blasting the boombox. Sitcom veterans Michael Jacobs and Bob Young were brought in as Dinosaurs series producers. Between the two of them, they had worked on shows like My Two Dads, Charles in Charge, Facts of Life, Who's the Boss, and 227. ABC signed on for 13 episodes, which was good because the cost of producing a standalone pilot with the technical requirements of Dinosaurs would have been a huge financial loss if for some reason it didn't actually get picked up for series. Despite its budget of over $1 million per episode, all parties understood that this was a long-term investment in new technology for a show unlike anything that had ever existed. Well, almost like nothing that had ever existed. There was a primetime family sitcom with a puppet lead that had been airing since 1986, but Alf was a more traditional hand puppet controlled from below by a single puppeteer. Henson, Disney, and ABC all wagered that it was the public's interest in Alf specifically that resulted in its cancellation in 1991, not puppet-led sitcoms or puppets in general. Dinosaurs was the realization of an entire world inhabited by anthropomorphic dinosaurs far beyond anything Alf could have dreamed of. That said, like Alf before them, the cast and crew of Dinosaurs was very careful to preserve the integrity of the characters by limiting access to sets. They wanted to maintain a suspension of disbelief that would capture the imagination of the audience, and any photos or videos of actors wearing half a dinosaur would undermine that creative magic. Each character in Dinosaurs was played by 2 to 4 actors and/or puppeteers controlling various aspects of the performance. Earl Sinclair was brought to life by Bill Beretta in the suit, longtime Muppets veteran Dave Gels controlled his face, and Stuart Pankin provided his voice. Some of the actors and puppeteers followed the Creature Shop after the Ninja Turtles movie. Leif Tilden was the suit actor for Donatello and Bobby Sinclair. Michael Sisti was Michelangelo and Charlene Sinclair. Kevin Clash, the puppeteer and voice actor for Splinter in Ninja Turtles, was the puppeteer and voice actor for Baby Sinclair. Other notable cast members included Sherman Hemsley as the voice of Earl's boss, B.P. Richfield, Sally Struthers as the voice of Charlene, Christopher Maloney as Spike, and Jessica Walters as the voice of Fran Sinclair.
I don't want no part of your tight-ass country club, you freak, bitch!
ABC initially set Dinosaurs up for success in April of 1991. The first 5 episodes were scheduled for Friday nights at 8:30, sandwiched between 2 of ABC's hottest shows, Full House and Family Matters, guaranteeing the new show would find its audience. And it did. Dinosaurs landed in the top 10 of all shows on TV overall, and it was the #1 show among all viewers under 50. However, when it returned in September, ABC began moving it around to different nights, trying to find another time slot that produced the same results. Producers thought that was a mistake, and as the ratings declined, their fears were realized. While Dinosaurs was a good complement to the existing TGIF lineup, it wasn't strong enough to carry an entire night as the first show in a primetime lineup. The high cost of the series made it an easy cut to ABC's and Disney's budget. After 51 episodes over 3 seasons, the cast and crew knew Dinosaurs was being canceled and were able to structure the 4th and final season with a proper series finale. And what better way to end it than by showing how and why the dinosaurs went extinct? In a 2018 interview with Vulture.com, Michael Jacobs said, quote, "From the moment we first talked about the show, we discussed the idea that it was the domestication of these dinosaurs that made them go extinct. The thing that human beings knew about dinosaurs was that in the end they were extinct, so we always had the idea in the back of our minds the show would end by completing the metaphor and showing that extinction." End quote. The series finale, titled Changing Nature, aired in July of 1994 and resolved themes that had been running throughout the series. Of the finale, series creators Bob Young and Mike Jacobs said, quote, "We decided that the end of the dinosaurs should come from the lowest possible form of creature. We felt that the metaphor in the episode had to be that we, as humans, may be utterly unaware of what will come to get us if we are not vigilant." End quote. The series closes out with the Sinclair house and the entire world being covered in an endless snowstorm and increasing accumulation. The news anchor Howard Hand-Up-Me signs off for the last time saying,
"Good night. Goodbye."
Dinosaurs hit home media very early in the life of the show, with the first 6 episodes being sold in December of 1991, just 8 months after they originally aired, because VHS sales were a big source of revenue and Dinosaurs was a very expensive show. In 2006, Disney released a 4-disc box set of Dinosaurs, the complete 1st and 2nd seasons. The 3rd and 4th seasons were released as a second 4-disc set the following year. The series finale of Dinosaurs wasn't actually the last new episode to air. The final 14-episode season was broken into 2 parts. The 7 episodes that closed out the story, ending with Changing Nature. Then an additional 7 episodes that chronologically took place prior to the finale that had not aired previously. When the series was added to Disney Plus in 2021, the episode order was corrected. Dinosaurs was supported by an assortment of licensed merchandise, including life-size plush dolls of breakout TV superstar Baby Sinclair. Hasbro produced a line of limited posability action figures, 1 point of articulation in the waist for twist and turn fun. But the best figures are yet to come. In 2022, NECA Toys announced a line of Dinosaurs action figures 245 million years in the making. As of this video, Wave 1 with Earl and Baby Sinclair is scheduled to be in hand before the end of 2023. 2 issues of a Dinosaurs comic were published by Disney's Hollywood Comics in 1992 and 1993. 48 pages each, they include stories based on the series. Other comics were featured in Disney Adventures magazine. In Brazil, Dinosaurs had its own 20-issue series. Dinosaurs was a smart and clever sitcom that just happened to feature state-of-the-art puppets for all of its characters, like nearly every Henson production before it, constantly pushing the envelope of what was possible utilizing television as a storytelling medium. The humor and drama weren't written to a specific audience. The series was meant to be enjoyed by all ages. There are things that kids might not understand at first, but adults would understand. There are things that kids would find funny that adults would think was silly. The point was to entertain first and foremost, but also to educate and enlighten, to use puppets, and in this case dinosaurs, as a way to better understand and confront issues of our own society. In that respect, Dinosaurs was not subtle and not trying to be. Jim Henson never shied away from social commentary and criticism, and that legacy was carried into Dinosaurs by his son Brian, everyone that worked on the show, and everyone who had known Jim and what he believed in. Episodes of Dinosaurs dealt with steroid abuse, gender roles, sexual harassment, and LGBT rights, censorship, war, racism, corrupt corporate and government officials, indigenous peoples' rights, and obviously environmental issues like climate change. And furthermore, our role in not only accelerating it, but our refusal as a species to confront the reality of it. As Earl explains to his youngest son in the series finale as they confront the reality of their fate, quote, "Daddy was put in charge of the world and he didn't take real good care of it. And now it looks like there won't be much of a world left for you or your brother and sister to live in." Dinosaurs was a rare show that was born from disappointment and tragedy, but persevered long enough to evolve into something else. It was the beneficiary of decades of technological and creative innovation. It was simultaneously unlike anything that had been seen before, yet carried DNA that tied it to everything from Family Matters to Alf to the Honeymooners. It was a long-form, desperate plea from artists using the medium of puppetry to beg the world to learn from the mistakes of the past. Metaphorical mistakes, yes. From a very distant fictional past, sure. But no less important in message, meaning, and urgency. Thanks for watching. Please like, hit subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Thank you very much to those of you who already are. If you're in the position to help the channel grow, if you would like early access to the videos ad-free, as well as behind-the-scenes features, sneak peeks at upcoming projects, and an exclusive monthly podcast about the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/toygalaxy and let us know in the comments down below what your favorite dinosaur is. As a kid, I was torn between pterodactyl, ankylosaurus, stegosaurus, and yeah, I'd be lying if I said I didn't like Tyrannosaurus rex. The one that's really stood the test of time as my interest is Ankylosaurus. I can't even pronounce that word anymore. I don't think that says anything about me personally. It's just a cool design, like a tank with legs. Nice job, evolution. You've got a quality portfolio. They're not all bangers, but nobody's perfect. I know what you did.